everyone, talking about Dodo. The Jackfruit edition just came out in 2023 by Zoologist. The notes in this are jackfruit, bergamot, pink pepper, turmeric leaf, lavender, geranium, orange flower, turmeric root, orris, tonka, vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, and labdanum. So if you're a fan of Zoologist, you're probably familiar with the original Dodo. That one is very kind of intensely green, pungent in a way that is definitely challenging to people, but also a lot of people appreciate when Zoologist does the challenging kind of weird stuff. So was interested to try this new one. I had seen people talking about them, pretty much everyone I saw was saying they liked it a lot more, but people were also saying like it's not as artistic or creative or something like that. So yeah, I was curious to check it out. Not my type of fragrance, but again, I think that it's more appealing in like a smell good type of way to a lot of people. Yeah, way less, just not even close to being the type of intensely pungent green than the original. A lot more like fruity and powdery. The description that I saw references the like overripe fruit that falls on the forest floor that like is foraged by dodos. And I think that totally comes through in terms of that like overripe or ripe fruit. And the jackfruit like smell that they created here is interesting, and I think they did a good job of creating that here. It's not like just like the typical fruity accords in most fragrance. To me, the lavender here is sort of a combination of powdery and aromatic style lavenders, kind of potpourri style a little bit. The turmeric is way more noticeable to me here than it usually is in wearable fragrance. I'm not even saying it's like, oh, this smells like a turmeric bomb or something like that, but often when I see turmeric in a notes list, it isn't really that detectable, even though it can be a strong note. But I can pick it up in this one. The geranium's noticeable along with the orange flower. Sort of more like adult take on fruity floral notes. The orris and the tonka add to the powdery vibes with the lavender, and then it does have some more of that forest floor spirit in the dry down with the patchouli and some other kind of earthier, rootsy aspects. A little vetiver. But yeah, even at that point, it's not like super earthy or anything at all like that. And the original had what a lot of people consider to be sort of like a BO, either body odor or also like bad breath. Some people called it sort of sharp pungency. I could totally see that, and I certainly wouldn't wear the original, but I do think the original was like really interesting and totally evocative of this like wild bird type of thing. So yeah, I don't like super fruity, and I also don't like earthy, so this just is not for me. But a lot of people do, most people that I've been seeing do seem to like this better than the original, and they think it smells better. So if you think the notes list looks good, worth checking out. The only real critique I would say on a more objective level is, yeah, it's not the most unique, especially if you're compared to a lot of Zoologist stuff. Smells closer to a lot of other stuff that comes out that's kind of in that category of like aromatic, lavender, fruity, powdery, patchouli sort of mix. Like I think this is unisex. I think it was voted almost as like unisex leaning feminine by the few people who have voted on Fragrantica so far. To me, it smells like it could be a modern masculine designer cologne in terms of the scent profile itself. So I certainly don't think that, if you prefer masculine fragrances, that you couldn't still enjoy this, but yeah. And yeah, I think the lack of challenging part shouldn't be a problem. If it smells good to you, that's what matters. But I also think if you are the type of person who specifically comes to Zoologist because you want something that is really like avant-garde and so different from everything else, this one probably is not going to be what you're typically looking for at a Zoologist. But yeah, moderate longevity, low to moderate projection seems to be kind of the consensus for most people who have tried it so far. I don't think the bottles are quite out yet right now. I bought the sample directly from the Zoologist site, and I didn't see a bottle on there yet. But yeah, I think this would smell good on someone. It's totally wearable. Definitely on the more wearable side as far as most Zoologist scents go. And if you like, kind of some fruity, a little powdery, some lavender, and then a little kind of like pretty smooth as far as patchouli goes sort of in the base, then yeah, maybe you'd be a fan. And I'll link in the description where you can check it out.